holding anything in that? Ooh, have I got a spare one already? Nice. Don't think I need a hoe. Is there about China or anywhere that you've traveled? Yeah, I can tell some stories. I may have told some of these before, so I apologize if I have. You know, I'm telling them again. So there's that. So let's see. Did I ever tell you? Does anybody here ever tell you the Mega Mac story? Mega Mac story. I'm gonna tell you that one because that's a personal favorite of mine. So I've mentioned in the past that I was the fattest man in China, and that's probably not true. But I didn't see anyone as big as me the entire time I was there, and people literally stared at me with open mouth wonder. We went to a McDonald's once, and they decided, my friends I was going with, decided to sit in front of the big window out front, and people just walked by and stared at me like I'm Shamu. It was a little odd feeling to me. But it was the way it worked, right? So I think I may have told this story before. Well, again, if I have, I apologize. Forgot to bring a trash unit. Let me get the recipe for boron real quick. Boron. No. I thought so. It's always the same pattern. I don't know why I doubt myself. Okay, need a trash can. So I'm watching TV in the room one night, and there's only so many channels that have English. Those channels were Fox, where we all watch Simpsons and a couple of shows like that at night. HBO, but censored. National Geographic, which surprisingly I enjoyed quite a bit of that. And some sports stuff. And I'm not a sports guy, so that really didn't help me much, those ones. But some of the people were there. And while I was in China, that year was the year of the World Cup, which is a soccer thing, or football, for those of you who are not in America. And it was fun. I didn't really watch any of it, but it was a big deal over there. I think China was doing well. I don't know if they made the finals or not, but McDonald's had a special thing going on. And one night I'm sitting there watching this, just whatever I'm watching, and a commercial comes on for McDonald's in China. And they had, in honor of the World Cup, the Mega Mac, which was a double Big Mac. And, I'm sitting there, just drool falling off my face. I'm like, I gotta have the Mega Mac. So I go to work the next day, and I talk with a couple of my friends who are maintenance guys, a guy named Bobby and a guy named Jeff, who I spent a decent amount of time with. And, good Lord, the fun of it, I don't remember what it is that I came out here for. Trash can, that's what it was. And so I wanted to, I was like, guys, Mega Mac. And they're like, really? Yes, let's do that. So after work that day, we were going to go get a Mega Mac. That was our goal. That's what we were shooting for, was a Meg-O Mac. Why did I do that? So we worked 12 and 14-hour shifts. That night, we get a taxi ride. Taxi rides in China, very much like, what's the technical term? A roller coaster. In China, you're basically taking your life in your own hands if you wish to do that. But it was an interesting day. So we decided... the heck was that? We decided to go and get ourselves the Mega Mac for dinner. So the Mega Mac, or the McDonald's, see, there were several, of course, but none of them were within walking distance of our hotel. I'll tell you about the hotel in a few minutes. So we had to take a taxi, and the closest McDonald's was on the ground floor of an 8-story shopping mall. I want you to picture that. It was huge. I may have a picture of it somewhere. I'll have to look into that. 8-story shopping mall. So we're like, all right, we're going to go hit this one. So we walk in there, and I'm the biggest guy there. Jeff has been on the chunky side himself. Bobby's a little skinny dude. He fit in just fine. And we get over there, and we're ready to rock and roll, ready to get this stuff started, right? We go over there, and we walk up, and we order ourselves our Mega Mac combo. We get our Mega Macs, and they're delicious. They're everything I dreamed they would be. And no complaints. And I'll be honest with you, McDonald's food I got in China, almost always better than the McDonald's food I get here in America. When you get it in China, it looks exactly like it looked on the pictures. That was stupid. Hang on. I forgot. I need to put those underneath once I know where the machines go. So, Mega Mac, right? I'm going to pause here just for a second to tell my story before I start actually constructing this, because I'll need to focus on that in a moment. So, story real quick first. So we eat our food. I've mentioned in the past that when we're in China, when we're at the factory, it's on a military base. There's nowhere you can go eat for lunch. There was you could walk 20 minutes off the base to go to a little store and get things like chips and candy bars. And in my desk, because most of the guys didn't have desks, they were engineers and such. I had a desk because I had to work on a computer. I was writing work instructions. And I had several drawers. So everybody kept bringing their snacks. So I just started getting... the company gave me money to spend. So I just kept it full of chips and Oreos and Kit Kats. And in almost every situation, the food in China was better. Brand name stuff. Oreo cookies were better in China. I find Oreo cookies a little bit too sweet. And most of the things that had sugar in them in China had about half the sugar in it. The sugar's expensive. And so Oreo cookies there, I liked a little bit better. They weren't quite as sweet, and I've never adjusted back to them since I've been home. But you just had some chips or cookies and you got through your day. You had a huge breakfast because there was 3 or 5 restaurants, 3 or 5. There's a bunch of restaurants in the hotel to choose from. Huge breakfast buffets. We had a special high rollers club on the top floor because it was very expensive for us to be there. The Chinese government was literally putting us in the best hotel you could go to. It's like 10 grand a month is what it cost me to be there. And free meals and breakfast, free meals for dinner, right? So you got lots of food then. But here we are sitting at the McDonald's, and the Mega Mac, you are correct, was mega. It was huge. It was a massive burger. And I was very pleased. It tasted delicious. It tasted like a Big Mac, but just more. And that's all I really want in life, really, when you think about it. So, I eat this, and of course, as you would expect, I'm fat, so I was done first. And I'm sitting there, and, I get a light bulb over my head. More like a black light, because, I'm kind of emo. I got a black light over my head, and I'm like, aha, I have an idea. I'm going to go and get some double cheeseburgers. There's a microwave at the factory, so I can throw them in the fridge in my hotel, take them in with me tomorrow, because we had a little fridge there, throw them in my desk or in the fridge, microwave them, I get a hot burger for lunch. I'm going to go get some. And Bobby's like, that's a great idea. Grab me 2 double cheeseburgers. I'm like, sure. Jeff's like, that is a great idea. Grab me 2 double cheeseburgers. I'm like, sure, because I'm going to get 6. How much was it? I want to say that the entire combo was somewhere between 90 cents and $1.10. They fluctuated while we were there as the currency switched. But $100 gave me between 750 and 800 yuan the whole time that I was there, because it fluctuates, and you try to only convert as much as you need at a time. So it wasn't, everything was dirt cheap there, man, like dirt cheap. So I walk up to the counter, right? I know you guys are staring at me with a pause screen, so I'm going to do this real quick. So I walk up to the counter, right? I want you to picture this, right? Imagine this. Ground floor of an 8-story mall. So obviously the place is packed, full. Everybody around me are Chinese. I'm in China. What would you expect, right? So everybody, almost everybody, was shorter than me and definitely skinnier. So I'm standing in line by myself already, and people are behind me and beside me, and I'm getting side looks, and people are pointing and whispering, like, look at this fat ass, all these kind of things. And I'm standing in line, making my way up to the front, and restaurants in China were great, because they had tourists coming through. They knew I couldn't speak a word of anything. So they had picture menus. They'd see me like, and they'd pull it out, and I pointed at what I wanted. They would ring it up, they would rip off the receipt paper, circle the price, and show it to me. And it would be numbers are the same thing. You'll say 234 RMB, which is another term for yuan. So $2.34 in yuan, right? I give them the money because the money still has numbers on it that I recognize, so I had no problem with that. Had to be careful though, because money there was different colors than it was in, like it is in Canada, but not in the United States. And you gotta be careful because sometimes 100 is the same color as a 1. Gotta be careful with that. I have a bunch of Chinese money. I'll dig it out of an envelope and I'll show it to you guys later. I brought a whole bunch of that stuff with me, coins and bills and all that. But I'm standing there, I get front, she points at me, hands up the little menu, pretty little girl, hold it, man. I tap on the double cheeseburger, and she smiles and she goes, 1? And I went, no, 10. 6 for me, 2 for Bobby, 2 for Jeff. And she literally steps back and goes, 10? And I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm doing. And I'm doing my best to shake my jowls. I'm grounding it until I go 10. And she's like, oh, 1, okay. And she gets on the microphone. She's like, because she, I don't know what's funny. I'm not trying to be insulting. I don't know what the hell she said. And then I hear a silence as every person in 6 rows at McDonald's, everybody stops and looks at the fat American who just ordered 10 double cheeseburgers. Silence from everyone in line and all the other cashiers. But a commotion goes off in the back of them. And people are like, you're clanging. People pop up their head and they're like looking around. It's like, who the hell ordered? Oh, and that's really the look that I got. Somebody's head popped up and went, what in the, oh. And then somebody else looked over and they're like, oh. And they're like, here's a big rapper. Again, I'm not trying to be insulting. I just know what she said. And she looked at me, she goes, 1 minute. I'm like, okay, sure. So I back up a little bit, let other people get in. I'm at this point, I'm me. I'm cocky and confident. I don't give a damn, right? I'm backing up and I'm like, hey, how you doing? Hey, how's it going? I'm waiting for 10 cheeseburgers. Hey, well, you go on first. I'm waiting on 10 cheeseburgers. I just stood there rubbing my belly the whole time. And finally, she comes out with 2 bags of double cheeseburgers. These are small bags. And hands it to me, and I'm like, hey, thank you very much. Y'all have a great day. Everybody there. I look waving. Because at this point, I've had people are wiggling, and a couple people clapped, and I'm like, they're like, he really got 10. I'm like, I'm going to eat all these sons of bitches. You know, no idea. And I just walk back to the guys, and they're like, that was a show, man. I'm like, I know. Here, you carry this. And they're like, why? I'm like, because I just did all that, man. I'm not walking down the main street of China with 2 bags of double cheeseburgers in my hand. I just gave these people a show. I'm not acting all night. One of you guys carry one of these damn bags of cheeseburgers, so I don't look that bad all the time. But that worked out really, really well for me. And that was one of 3 times that I had that kind of adventure. That was actually the second one. The first one was at KFC, the #1 most popular restaurant in China. I know if you guys are getting tired, you want to see Minecraft, tell me, I'll switch back over. I'm just sharing these stories because these are some of my favorite China stories. So here I am. Again, like I said, every day, chips, a couple Oreos, a Kit Kat for lunch. You get wanting real food. And we're eating lots of food in the restaurant, but it's not really stuff. There's nothing to pack it up in, right? Like I don't have Tupperware over there. They don't give you a to-go bucket at the buffet restaurant. They had a phenomenal buffet, man. Thursday was pasta night, and there's people back there making handmade pasta. It was gourmet food. I mean, it was some of the best eating I've ever had. Was in that restaurant in China to this day. Australian beef. I'm gonna tell you this right now. I've never had steak as good as Australian beef. I had steak at least 3 nights a week over there. And it was so good. Like, it was so rare, it mooed a little bit while I was chewing. It was so good. Soak up the fries with the juice and the blood. Delicious. But you get to feeding for something more like home, right? And so there's a KFC right across the street. I'm talking to one of the guys. I'd only been there a little while, right? Oh, no problem, Standard. I'm sorry. I'll tell him again. Hit me up. I've probably told these once before, at least. But I'm like, I want to go get some KFC, but I had only been there a couple of weeks at this point, and I had not really gone anywhere by myself. And for safety, I'm sure this is in any country. This isn't to say anything about the wonderful land of China. I had nothing but positive experiences the entire time I was there. But like any country you're unfamiliar in and don't speak the language, you just don't go wandering around at night after dark. That's just common sense. So by the time we got home, a lot of times it was getting closer to dark. And so, yeah, you just go wandering around. But I was like, man, I'd like to get some KFC. And Bobby, one of the two guys, went with the Mega Mac. He's like, I could use some. You want to go over there? I'm like, yeah, let's go do that. So Bobby and I go over there. And this is my first time eating at a restaurant there. Outside of the hotel. Where the hotel, half the staff spoke English, right? And those who didn't still understood most everything you said. But there was, there was no problem with communication in the hotel. And if you wanted to go somewhere, you would go to them and tell them where you wanted to go, and they would take a business card for the hotel and write on the back where you want to go. So when you got to the taxi, you just held up the back of the card, and they're like, okay, and they would take you there. And again, they rip off a little paper, circle the amount, like, this is how much you owe me, and you hand it to them. And when you're ready to come home, you get in a taxi, you show them the front of the card. I'm like, I want to go to that hotel. And they're like, cool, same thing again. Very easy to get around. Bobby and I make our way over to the KFC. I'm wanting some KFC. And at this moment, as we're standing there watching, I'm like, I could get some, we're going to get it to go. We're going to take it back to the hotel and eat in our rooms, right? I mean, he's going to sit in my room, we're going to hang out, watch a movie or something. I'm like, I could get a little extra KFC. I could take this to work, throw it in the fridge, eat it for lunch tomorrow. What an ingenious idea. So this is the first time I thought of that. So we get up there and hold up the menu. Bobby picks a piece of chicken and a drink or something like that. And then I walk up and, I get that deer in a headlight look like. And they hold up the menu. And so, as you would expect, I pointed at the family pack. And she takes her finger and circles around like, one of these? No, the family pack. Because again, I'm going to take some with me. Now, I need to stress to you, to give you an idea of what the difference is living here versus living in China. This probably goes the same for Australia, Canada, or anywhere in Europe. If you're not in the United States, you're probably still going to understand what I'm saying here. You go to KFC, you get the bucket with some sides, probably comes with some biscuits. Those are disgusting. Don't eat those. Other stuff, maybe some drinks. You get the family pack. In China, the family pack was 4 pieces of chicken, 2 drumsticks, and 2 thighs. Didn't even have a breast in it. 2 half corn on the cobs, 3 potato wedges, and a 1-liter Pepsi. That was to feed 2 to 4 people in your family. That's what I eat while I'm waiting for them to make my food. Okay? That's what I eat on the way home while the rest of the food is in the passenger seat. That's my snack to hold me over till I get home, till I can eat the food. Draven, we would never guess this with your athletic slim figure. But yes, it's true. The family pack. Again, huge uproar. People not understanding what's happening. I have to wait. Bobby and I are doing everything we can not to laugh. This is why when we went for the Mega Mac, I was more prepared to put on a bit of a show, because I'm that kind of person. Even here in America, if I'm with my friends or my wife and we're waiting at a grocery store and whatever, I start making everybody laugh, including the people around me. It's just one of those things I do. I make a bit of I'll tease my wife in a way that gets a laugh out of everybody. But not in a way that would make her uncomfortable. Something like that. But so we got the chicken. And I went back and I ate half of my family pack. I showed self-restraint and didn't eat it all. Because I knew I was 4 pieces was the family pack. 4 pieces, 2 half corn on the cob. So basically 1 corn on the cob, really. And it was like 3 or 4 potato wedges, which are just big French fries. And a 1-liter Pepsi. I could chug a 1-liter Pepsi. I took some to work the next day, and it was a great idea.